Hi, just a quick channel update. I'm in a hotel room in Salt Lake. It's the first time I've been back in Salt Lake for over 20 years. Um, the short, what's going on with me is that my cancer's returned. The cancer has, I got this from the CT scan, and I've been a little coy about telling people on YouTube because I wanted to tell my family first. And that's why I'm out here in Salt Lake. So the cancer I have what's called extensive omental caking, which means that the cancer has spread, and I have the CT report, and I'll probably do a video going in detail through that one sometime when I get back, which won't be for another week or so. But the cancer has spread through the transverse and sigmoid colon. That's the one going across and the one going down. The one going up they took out of me, that's gone now. And then it is also spread through the loops of the small intestine. They've seen that. You have a layer of fatty tissue surrounding your liver, and that's all covered with implants. And it's spread to the peritoneum and down into the pelvis. So I'm being the type of person I am. I looked up and researched and figured out. Found a couple of papers, and the average life expectancy of somebody with this diagnosis is 5.2 months, and it's been at least a week. So I have the median life expectancy, not average, median life expectancy. So I have a 50-50 chance of being alive by the end of the year. So that's obviously going to affect my channel. I'm actually going to go meet with a lawyer and talk about various things because I want to leave my channel up. But I'm not sure how much I can do. My intention, because once this happened, I had to work with work, and I'm on family medical leave through the end. And unless I miraculously get better, and I'll talk about that possibility in a minute. So the median life expectancy is 5 months. And that's there. The treatment that they wanted me to go back on was to go, tiny bit of history. They detected the tumor. I had surgery. They did the CT scan to see where it had spread to, and it was nowhere. I had a clear CT scan. So I went a year with no indications of cancer at all. But what they did is they decided to treat me as what's called pseudo stage 3. I was stage 4 because when they did the surgery, it's in the large colon and the small colon and in the peritoneum. So it was classic. I was stage 4, but it wasn't classic because it hadn't spread anywhere else. Though it was in the lymph nodes. It had spread in the lymph nodes. So, but they took out all of that, and then it didn't show up for a year, and I had a colonoscopy, and the gastroenterologist said, hey, you have no signs of any problems at all. No polyps, your surgery was excellent, and complimented my surgeon and everything else like that. So that one all went well, and I thought I was going to get out of that. But what it did was that they put me on through stage 3, the chemotherapy for stage 3, which is FOLFOX 5 is what I was on, and if you want to look that up, and but you go through 12. You have 12 treatments of FOLFOX, and then you're done. And then they did the CT scan, and I was still clear, so that was that. Stage 4 chemo is a little bit different. First off, they said they wouldn't put me back on oxyplatin, which is what causes peripheral neuropathy in the hands, and it also causes problems with sensitivity to cold, that really bothered me when I went through chemo. They said they wouldn't be putting me on oxyplatin, but they put me on, there's another drug that they introduced for stage 4, which is rather severe. And so, but the biggest thing that's going to happen is that I'm going to lose the sense of taste if I go back on there. And I remember how depressing it was to lose the sense of taste of chocolate, and how happy I was when I got that back. And I don't want to go through that again, because if I go on to that type of chemotherapy, I will lose my sense of taste for the rest of my life because I will be constantly on chemotherapy for the rest of my life. So, and I don't want to do that. And so now what are my options? Well, I'm not going to go through that. Now we're getting into what's approved, but there are no stats on it and so on. So there's anecdotal evidence, it's only anecdotal, about immunotherapy. Some people have had major improvement. Now, my understanding, and if somebody else knows better, my understanding is what they do is they take your tumor, which they have. I went back, and that what they're doing supposedly now is doing the analysis of the tumor. They go through and they look at what genes are mutated in the tumor that are different from what I normally have. You know, you've got your own set of DNA, so they have to compare your tumor to your own tissue, see what shows up as different. Then they look at those genes and see if someone has developed something that will hit those genes specifically. That's immunotherapy. And then they put it through there, and then your immune system builds up your immune system to attack the cancers. It's an interesting branch. That's supposedly what my understanding. I haven't done the deep dive into that as I should, but that's where I believe that the immunotherapy is, and you guys can tell me. But I will get the results of that, because then they have to see if your specific kind of cancer meets, based upon the DNA changes that are there, if they have something that will work for you. So that's the crapshoot. You don't know whether they've got anything or not. So I will find out about that later. Now that has a possibility of me getting better, but there's no stats. There's no numbers. There's no studies showing the efficacy, particularly against colon cancer. What happens is the FDA, I remember my oncologist mentioned, there is a specific kind of cancer that they have got the stats for, they've done all the research on, and the FDA approved it for that, and then the FDA extended the approval to use in other kinds of cancer that are other kinds of cancer they're showing stage 4, because there's not much hope for people with stage 4. And that's it. So what does this mean? So I'm going to be doing some videos. I'm going to try and do a vlog every day once I get back. I may be sporadic because I'm in a hotel room and I'm working on my Surface, and it's not the most conducive to doing videos, in my opinion. It works, but I hope it works. I hope to get the video to you guys. But the problem is I got a slow internet connection and everything else. So when I get back, I'll be trying to do some videos. I'll do some more stuff on Dungeons and Dragons and some video games. I plan on playing some video games and enjoying my life till the end, and doing some rather unusual videos, like one that's on my mind, which I know I'm getting hit up from my family and friends, is it selfish to want to die alone? It's an interesting question, and I'll do a video more on that one, because I don't want to, it's just my life, and I would rather die alone. So that's where I'm at, and so I hope you enjoy this video. It was a difficult one to make, and thank you for watching.